All right, so today I am with acclaimed singer Kiesza. How are you doing today?
Thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So, and who we have here with you? Little man, you said?
This is little man. He wanted to join.
Yes, yes, love it. Love when our fur babies join.
So we'll see how long.
All right, so let's begin by talking about your latest single, "The Mysterious Disappearance of Etta Place," which is being considered as one of your most unique songs yet. What can you tell us about it?
So this song is, I'd say, the beginning of a new chapter for me in a sense where it's really combining my roots where I came up in Calgary, Alberta, with my Western songwriting and storytelling background. And then using that with the dance music that people know me more for.
Hmm.
I was like, I was kind of isolating that side of myself and not putting it out in the world. And decided that I wanted to try putting them all together.
Hmm.
And I mean, this is the beginning of multiple tracks that have this type of vibe to them. And so the next three, or the next two that will follow this on May 24th, are also of a similar style. And for me, it's really special because that's a side of my songwriting that the world doesn't know so well, and I'd say it's one of my stronger sides.
Yeah.
And I love dance music, and I love that there's just so much room to expand in that genre.
Hmm.
And definitely, I've always wanted to make it more artist driven. It's very heavily DJ driven, but the potential for even the live shows and
Hmm.
artistry, theatricality of that genre, I want to really expand in that as much as I can. So, yeah, that's what I'm out here doing. And Dancing and Crying, the volume one, the title Dancing and Crying,
Yeah.
really taps into that as well.
Hmm.
The the emotion on the dance floor.
Okay, awesome. Very nice. And how has the track been received by listeners so far?
Oh, people are loving it. They really are loving it. And I'm really excited about that. I mean, we have the poem at the beginning of it as well.
Mhm.
This is all this music is coming out of real experiences and real life moments. And poet at the beginning, Airbnb host I stayed with while I was dino digging in Wyoming, a friend of mine, just for fun. And he's a historian and he studies all of the outlaws and like Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid. He knows the lives of those kind of wild west heroes and villains that we know so well, but he knows their lives really intricately, where they live. And he walked me through the lands that they used to actually rob banks on and showed me their cabins.
Wow.
Scenes. I was so inspired by his storytelling that I wanted to write a song that had that essence about it. And Clay ended up reciting this poem for me one day, and I ended up recording it on my iPhone
Mhm.
and asked to be featured on the song. And then from there, I wanted to write a song that had the essence of one of his stories.
Nice.
Etta Place came about. Etta Place is a real woman who was the lover of the Sundance Kid. The
Hmm.
Bush and his kid used to ride together. And when they were shot down, Etta Place went missing and no one ever saw her again, or supposedly. So the mystery of what happened to her. So that's why it's called The Mysterious Disappearance of Etta Place. And I wrote what I thought had happened because I figured she just ran with the gold and started a new
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Awesome. And yeah, like you said, this song is on your new upcoming new album, Dancing and Crying Volume 1, which will release on May 24th. How would you say this album showcases your evolution as a music artist?
Um, this album took me a lot of time to write.
Hmm.
Um, it was more finding the sound, actually. It took me a while to really hone in on the sound I wanted, and as I found that, that's why it became volume one because there's actual volumes to follow this one. Because I'm now that I found it, I don't want to just end it. I want it to keep going.
Um,
There's some songs that are coming on volume two that I'm just so excited for as well. Um, in my evolution, it's just really tapping into me in a more whole way.
mhm.
As opposed to trying to go down one lane and stick with a branded style and a hairdo and my 90s aesthetic, which I was really heavily leaning into before,
Mhm.
which it worked works so well in a marketing perspective, and it really is a true expression of a side, one side of me that really is genuinely there.
Mhm.
There's other spectrum to my personality that's like deep and introspective and emotional and it likes to take the perspective of other people too. It's not, I don't always write from my own perspective. Like the song coming up next, Strangers, that's written through the eyes of someone else.
Okay.
Um, More as if I'm writing a movie and diving into a character that is experiencing an emotion I felt, but in a different story. So I love to make up characters and write stories, and songwriting lends itself so wonderfully to that.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
yeah, so that I used to do that at the beginning of my writing, not my career, but when I began writing as a folk singer, and I used to always take the perspective of other people, and I haven't done that since. And so this is at a place,
Mhm.
from this outlaw woman, and then strangers, someone else too.
Yeah,
So
nice.
yeah, I think it helps us also discover ourselves weirdly when we try to put ourselves in the shoes of others. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I would agree, definitely. Yeah, and Dancing and Crying Volume 1 will also be, accompanied by a high concept long form narrative video, is that correct?
yes, so I'm like in the middle of switching back and forth between a voiceover session right now.
Mhm,
Um, Radio plays, so it's like old fashioned radio theater when you all gather around the radio together like you would the television nowadays, and you'd listen to a story.
mhm.
We're We're doing that between the music videos. So you can go on my YouTube and there's a playlist called Dancing and Crying, and I videotape actual radios, and there's just little things going on, but it almost looks like a photograph, but it
Okay.
really is. And you can listen to the story that connects all the music videos together. So the videos do connect for the most part,
Mhm.
but there's a story. So if you want to dive deeper into what's going on and who the characters are, you can expand and you can learn more about them. And, I don't know, we're having so much fun with it that we might keep the radio play going between volumes. Who knows?
Mhm. So many options, I mean, so much to do with it.
It's like a playground with my friends. We're literally having the time of our lives and having so much fun doing this. And that's really what, like, defines this project is the joy and the fun that has gone into the creation of everything from the music with, Sugar Jesus as the producer, and I had a co-songwriter on a bunch of the songs, um, Kay Sotomayor.
Mhm.
So it was just this little team doing the music, and then now I have this amazing team that was working on the music videos with me, and now I have my little voiceover crew, and we're acting, and it's just fun. It's like we feel like kids.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, that's great, that's the best part of, doing something that you love. I mean, you wanna have that spirit with it, and that's amazing. And you've been doing music since the mid-2000s, but it was your 2014 single, Hideaway, and its one-shot video that truly put you on the map. Did you ever expect that would launch your career and take you to where you are now?
I didn't when I made it, but once the video was shot, there was a six months gap between shooting the video and me actually deciding to put it out
Mhm.
because I was a writer. So the song was sort of like a song I had written with the potential to be pitched to another artist.
Okay.
I had to realize like, okay, I want to actually do this, and then shot a video for it. And then it's sort of like you don't really know I had no career, no following as an artist at that point,
Mhm.
and maybe on my Instagram, So I didn't really know anything about launching myself, which is hilarious because I didn't really do anything, and the video just kind of picked up on itself.
Yes, exactly. Well, what do you remember the most about doing that video?
Um, I remember I remember the choice to do it. When I made the decision, I worked really hard at trying to make it work despite not having very much means to do it.
Mhm.
I tried LA first. I had just moved to LA actually, and I didn't like it. I was in New York and I liked New York more, and I didn't last long. I ended up moving back to New York and then did it there and basically just called on friends and friends of friends and just tried to find a day that everyone could come. There was
Mhm.
only one. We hadn't have made it that day, or if it rained, we would have been screwed.
Mhm.
One day that everyone seemed to be available, so we that was July 9th, and we came together and it's a week, but we only had one rehearsal per group. So it was even though there's a week, So for me, it was.
I'm sorry, you're cutting in and out, Kiesza. I'm sorry, you're cutting in and out a little bit.
Oh, I'm cutting out. If I
Yeah,
hold it, is it better?
a little bit. Yeah, better. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Too bad. Signals in LA suck.
Yeah. Trust me.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so yeah, so where I lost my train of thought. What was I just at?
Sorry, I'm sorry. We're talking about what you remember the most about doing that video for Hideaway.
Oh yeah. So I had the one rehearsal for each group that you see in the video, and then we had to just put the rest together on the day. And the take that you see is the second take. So
Okay.
we nailed it. We maybe tried 5 times, but it started raining on us, and then someone tried to steal our equipment. Like we had a lot of complications on the day, and we didn't think the second take, like we didn't even know that we actually did have it. But then we ended up having to stop for weather reasons and just crossed our fingers and hoped for the best. And when we went through, we were like, we saw the second take and we're like, oh my God, I think this is gonna work. There's mistakes. There's definitely what we would have called mistakes in it, but it was so captivating. And it had like the guys that at the beginning, in the white shirts, like they're not actors, they're literal New York guys.
Okay.
So there's the jogger that went by, like these are all just real people that happened to just be there on that day. So yeah, I had some of those fun elements that we really liked. And yeah, we just honestly what I knew when I knew that it was going to pick up was when I sent it in Gmail to a few people, and the Gmail unlisted. So it was unlisted. The unlisted link went viral in my Gmail.
Oh wow.
So when I went on and opened it up and saw like, whoa, there's lots of views on this. No, it's not even out yet. It's not even public. I had a sense that it had virality to it. And that's when I started kind of bracing myself and realizing that, okay, there's something here. I should probably mentally prepare. And I decided to move to the UK because the UK had a good house scene.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a permanent move, but I knew my mom had a friend out there and she said I could come out and stay with her for a bit and just try some stuff out. And I went out there to Chiswick and rented a suite for a few months. And honestly, I was only there 3 days before Annie Mac played it, and then it went viral on her radio show, and then it went viral on SoundCloud. And this is before the music video was out, so the song itself became viral without the music video. So then, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that the song itself was viral. So I was like, what's gonna happen when I put the video out? And yeah, this is really history.
Amazing. I love it. So
it was, yeah. Oh, I was gonna say it wasn't by design. It was kind of all by accident. It just sort of happened.
It organically happened, and it just
very organic. Yeah.
Just took you to where you are now. All the dots connected, and here we are.
Here we are.
Have you always had a passion in pursue music?
Yeah, it's always been a genuine passion. Like I thought that I'd be going to school to become, I don't know, like a surgeon or a geneticist or something very scientific. Like I am very fascinated by science and more the creative side of science. Like I wanted to be someone that was on the forefront of discovering in that space. But I didn't see myself. Music was like a hobby because my parents, kind of like a lot of parents were like, oh, you need to like get a real job. And so that got into my head, and then it's funny because I didn't even apply for music college. Somebody sent a demo CD I made to a college that he had gone to, and I got a phone call and they had called me and said I was accepted without even applying. So I got this random phone call like, you've been accepted into college. And my mom was like, did you apply? And I was like, I know, did you apply? So it was kind of a sign, and I was like, you know what, it's not every day you get accepted into a college you didn't apply for. Maybe I should give this a shot.
Yeah.
And I went to Selkirk College, which is in Nelson, BC, Canada. It's a little college in the Kootenay Mountains, but it's connected with Berklee College of Music. And my first semester I auditioned for Berklee College of Music. I ended up getting a full scholarship. So at that point I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I do have something there with music. And I ended up moving to Boston, and I would skip a lot of class and take the bus to New York and start hustling and trying to just get to know people out there because of the quote, literally the quote, if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. So I was like, I'm so close to New York. I just gotta go to New York and make it there. And And that's literally what happened.
There you
But
go.
I made it. I made the video in New York, but I actually made it in the UK first.
You can make it anywhere.
Yeah. But because it was shot in New York, New York picked up on it pretty quick, and I
Yeah,
have a huge there now. So, I mean, maybe the saying's true. Maybe you
maybe,
do need
maybe.
to New York, you
I
know?
think it is. I think it is. Yes. But what do you always hope listeners take away from your music?
I just want them to feel really good. I want them to feel connected to the music and feel like it opens them up in some way that they feel heard,
Mhm.
or like, I don't know, if it just makes someone want to dance, that's amazing. If it makes someone connect to an emotion that's buried inside of them and they feel heard, that's amazing. As long as the music's moving them in some way, I'm happy.
Mhm.
Because that's what I really believe music is there for. It's to
Mhm.
ultimately connect us all to one another, but also connect us to ourselves in a deeper way.
I agree.
And dance, yeah, you know, dancing brings people together. It's a very open and honest expression, and so is crying. Crying is so honest. To let ourselves cry, we have to be fully honest about what we're truly feeling, and that's when the tears start flowing. So
Mhm.
there's this similarity, even though they seem so different. But there's a lot of similarities between dancing and crying, and often, well, they're very healing as well.
Mhm.
So there's a whole healing aspect to this new project. It's subtly hidden in the lyrics. I don't want to be out there preaching to people or anything, because we're all on our own journey, and I ultimately believe that the person we should be listening to is ourselves. I think we have wisdom within us, and we just have to listen to ourselves. So if I can help people point in the direction of trusting and listening to their own intuition, I'll feel like really
I,
done something wonderful.
yeah, fantastic. All right, Kiesza. Well, how can one stay up to date with you?
I definitely update all my social media, Kiesza, and yeah, Dancing and Crying, the whole volume 1 drops May 24th. So, but you can find it everywhere. Like, I'm still on, I guess, X now, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I'm definitely leaning into my YouTube a lot more. You're going to find all the radio theater plays right now on YouTube, and I'm going to look into actually rolling them out as an actual podcast at some point soon, but I'll be announcing that probably on Instagram.
Okay.
Um, so yeah. So anyways, yeah.
It's definitely
So you
awesome.
can
Then before we
find,
wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you would like to mention or plug at this time?
there's lots of music coming. This project has definitely become a gateway to the folky and the singer-songwriter side of myself, because of that fusion between the two worlds. So it has made me consider actually releasing some of those early songs and some of the new songs that I write that are in the style that I've never put out. So you can definitely just expect to see an expansion in the music I'm putting out. And but for now, the focus is this really amazing, fun dancing and crying project. And there's tons coming out for that. And I'm honestly, it's been taking me over 2 years to get this project ready and to hone in on the sound. So I'm thrilled that it's finally coming out and to share it with everyone. There's some really fun songs out already. Dancing and Crying, which is the opening track. Heaven Ain't Calling. It's really housey, great, really great track for the, like, if you're into like the house club sound. I Go Dance is like, I sort of think the dance anthem of the project. And then as we switch into the folky stuff, I'm trying to balance each project with like three have that folk fusion, and then three that are maybe are a little more clubby, theatrical, or maybe a slightly closer to the Kiesza people know, but not completely. um, Creating that balance. But yeah, anyways, I'm just really appreciate you sharing on your um we here
On
just
Instagram?
sharing, and
Yes, of
yeah,
course, of course. Fantastic.